Thank you so much, Chair Ansari, and to the entire Congressional Progressive Caucus for hosting this important conversation. So I represent Nevada's 4th District, includes Las Vegas and North Las Vegas, but 50,000 square miles throughout the state of Nevada, including rural communities. In parts of my district, we're dealing with corporate speculators, institutional investors that own in North Las Vegas 25%, 1 in every 4 homes. And these are not homes in the suburbs. These are not in the master plan communities. These are targeting single-family communities, largely that are headed up by women who are the head of their household, and Black and Latina households in particular. That's why I have spent the larger part of 2025 hosting roundtables with local constituents, community leaders, housing advocates, and local officials to really listen to my constituents, to learn what the pain points have been, and to lift up their ideas towards the policy solutions that we have now introduced. So as a result, we released a housing package last year with 3 separate bills to address the issues affecting my district and the nation as a whole. But in communities like those that I represent in Nevada, families aren't losing out just because they can't get a mortgage. They're losing out because they're competing against these large institutional investors. So while we're working to build affordable housing that's attainable for everyone, we have these investors that are taking this product off the market. That's why I introduced the Housing Oversight and Mitigating Exploitation Act, or the HOME Act, which is meant to respond to a very specific failure in today's housing market. Now the HOME Act doesn't impose a blanket ban because we know corporate investors will just find a way to game the system. Instead, it gives the government the tools to actually address the problem. Specifically, the HOME Act gives HUD the authority to monitor excessive concentration, investigate price manipulation, and examine the impacts on our communities. Ms. Bailey, in your written testimony, you highlighted the need to address institutional investors, especially as and I quote, you said, research has shown many renters living in investor-owned properties report subpar housing conditions, unexpected fees, and unresponsive management staff. So can you explain how targeted federal oversight like the one in the HOME Act can help protect renters and first-time buyers without choking off housing supply?
Sure, and thank you so much for the question. One of the things that I think you raised that's really important here is that not only are investors purchasing up the affordable single-family homes that's impacting home buyers, when they come into communities and purchase up all of the properties, the rents typically rise with that. So not only are the home ownership costs going up, but also the rents going up. So more oversight will mean that people are able to file real complaints against these landlords, because that's what they are, and hold them accountable to making sure we're providing safe, affordable, and decent housing. And we're actually seeing this dismantling of our fair housing infrastructure and the inability of people in your state to be able to contact their local HUD authorities to alert them to what's going on and bring in the type of enforcement to actually stop these practices. So I would recommend stronger enforcement. Mr. Turner is coming before the House Financial Services Committee. It's a great opportunity to ask him, what is HUD intending to do to enforce our nation's fair housing laws?
Yeah, I agree. I know I'm out of time. I did just want to point out, and Mr. Negron, maybe I can get your response off the record. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. We're waiting for the Supreme Court's decision on these tariffs, which are taxes that Americans pay, and that the fact that they've added more than $17,000 to a cost of a new home. I think this is another area that we're going to need to attack, and my hope is that the Supreme Court will strike down these illegal tariffs, but then we got to get the money back that this administration stole from the American consumer and put it towards things like housing affordability. So I don't know if you can touch on that briefly.
Yes, I would sound a cautionary note that a source of authority before the Supreme Court is the emergency authority that has been used for a whole range of tariffs, but many of the tariffs in question with respect to housing costs, like aluminum tariffs, steel tariffs, those are under a different authority. And so, at least with respect to housing, if the Supreme Court does strike it down, we may not get that much relief on the housing front. And in fact, on the other issues, the president has given every indication they're going to try to figure out another way to do the tariffs. So this feels like just one really long, bad episode of television where they just keep finding new plot lines.
Thank you. I want to thank